So I am joined with Alex from ODYS. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. Doing great.
Yeah, no worries. So this series is called 5 Minutes With. I basically ask you a question, set a timer for 5 minutes, and then you've got 5 minutes to answer it. And we can go through multiple questions as well. But obviously with the recent algorithm updates and with everybody believing Google blindly, 301 redirects are apparently dead and the expired domains don't work. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I don't believe that. But what's your thoughts? You've got 5 minutes now.
The main challenge is to put that into 5 minutes, but let's do this. Look, Google, I've always said that domains are beyond Google. Mm-hmm. So domains were before Google, and whatever happens to Google will still have domains.
Yeah.
So the HTTP 301 redirect protocol, which you can Google actually and read the Wikipedia page, was there before Google. It's a browser protocol. It goes beyond Google. So it just points to the new destination.
Yeah.
And even the fact that Google allows you to enter the change of address in the Google Search Console after you've done a 301 redirect just debunks the myth.
Yeah.
Because if they allow you to do so, it means that not only it works, but it serves a purpose. And not just for search bots, but for all your traffic.
Yeah.
And then there are some other minor tricks, like if you want to go into the grayish hat area of 301 redirects, think about it this way. Let's say you get access to a domain, and this is for the gray hats crowd that's watching you. You get access to a domain, you 301 redirect it, and then let's say you rent it, because there are places where you can actually rent domains. If you find a domain you can rent in a marketplace, or maybe rent it from your friend, you can 301 redirect it. You can change address in Google Search Console. And even if you interrupt the redirect, the link power and the juice will be there for as long as the change of address is set up in your Google Search Console. The only way to remove that is by having someone else add the domain in a different Search Console, which means they take 301 redirect seriously. It's not a fluke.
We've also seen like link echo effect as well. So like, for example, you can go and build a link and you can remove that link and you still get the power of that link for like 30 or 60 days. Again, it differs. But for somebody that's looking to do a 301 redirect successfully, and let's say they are in the UK industry and maybe they want to set up a law firm in London, what would you recommend? Would you recommend them going and buying a bakery website and redirecting that because it used to be a DR60?
Well, if the bakery site needs legal advice, then definitely, because that would be a great way to actually funnel the traffic to the site, or maybe the former owners or whatever. But this is actually not a joke, because at the end of the day, a successful 301 redirect, it has SEO or jumps in rankings as a side effect, as a beneficial side effect, because you really want to serve the intent of the user going through the 301 redirect. So whatever the visitor of the former domain was looking for in the domain, when it goes through the redirect, it has to serve that purpose, or to kind
needs to match the intent.
Yeah, match the intent. So if you can match the intent, if you go to any website and it 301 redirects you to a landing page explaining what happened and how can you benefit and what are the steps moving forward, and you actually take some action, click around the site, follow some links, maybe even interact with the website, go to the contact us form or book a call, anything, that is exactly the behavior Google sees. Now, if they went through a page that has Google Analytics, if that went through Chrome or anything that they use to track user behavior and clicks and all that, that will be very beneficial. Yeah. And that's exactly what Google sees. And not just through the bot, but through user behavior in general.
Yeah, for sure. We like to do the acquisition method. So let's say, for example, if it's casual-law.com or .co.uk, and if we acquired Alex Drew, law.co.uk, we would create a page saying like casual-law has acquired Alex Drew Law. We've acquired this domain or this business potentially. The business went bust. And we basically explain that, and then the services that they provide as a law firm, we would probably provide as a law firm as well. So it just works in harmony, works very, very well, as opposed to just 301 redirecting to the homepage, and in some cases that can be a little bit dangerous as well.
Yeah, and it requires a little bit of extra work, which everyone doesn't want to put in the hours and the time. Well, you can delegate, outsource, whatever, but it has to be done. It's not as easy as just 301 redirecting via the registrar or via HD access. Just put in the work, maybe even build up the site first. I've mentioned this during my speech at SEO Estonia. Warm up the domain a little bit. Maybe it's been down for like a couple of months and everyone's bitching and moaning about domains that have been down, not working. It's not necessarily so. Obviously, they don't have any trust signals like clicks, traffic, and whatever. But it is what it is. You have to revive that domain just a little bit. So throw up a landing page, explain what happens, and then, as you said, just migrate the content and engage the redirect, and that's it.
One last thing that you've mentioned recently is when you are looking at like reviving a domain, so in some cases you might rebuild the website, but in other cases you might also export the entire backlink profile and run it through like an indexing tool like Giga Index or Indexceptional.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is that performing
Well, first
better?
of all, that's sort of like a guarantee that I'm not losing any link power to that domain.
Right. Okay.
So, like, I can blindly go with a domain, and most of the time, if I talk like volume, I will. But sometimes it doesn't really make sense. So, if you're spending $5,000 on a domain that has 500 referring domains, for instance, why not go and export all the backlinks of that domain, submit it to Giga Indexer. By the way, the best indexer in the industry right now, we've tested it. We're spending almost $100 a day on indexing tools, and all of that goes to Giga Indexer, like real story. And just make sure all those links are indexed.
Yeah,
and to your
for
surprise, you will see that sometimes around 15 to 20% of the backlink profile of any site, even live sites on the web, not just H domain, are not indexed.
Yeah.
So you will benefit from those right away. You see that they're indexed in Ahrefs, but Ahrefs is not Google. Just try to get them indexed in Google.
Yeah, definitely. Like we've seen it a lot with people that are like buying like expensive links as well. Like for example, on BBC, they've been published on BBC or they've been published on some like high DR sites, but because of how big these like for example, people forget how big Forbes is. Like it's got over 1 million pages indexed. In some cases, Google de-indexes some page to make space for new pages.
Yeah.
So even just running your existing backlink profile, and it doesn't even need to be an expired domain, just run it through an indexer, and you should see some results.
Good tip.
Yeah, thanks for joining me.
Cheers.